Hey, it's Benny. We're back with Let's Make a Board Game. We're actually going to start on a new game design today. This is our the guy. This is an idea I had called Hidden Gems. I remember talking to a jeweler back in the day. His name's Chuck. I don't know if he's still around. He owned a jewelry store called Camelot Jewelers in my hometown, Binghamton, New York. And Chuck's a neat guy. I haven't seen Chuck in a long time. I've been back to Binghamton a really long time. But he was, he was always interested in gem cuts, and he was interested in how the different gems were valuable, the different things like that. And so I started to think about the term that's applied to hidden gems as a term. I started to think about that, and then I thought about Chuck, and I thought, okay, well, maybe we could bring the two of these things together into an interesting game, interesting game idea. I'm going to admit, I've been playing a ton of sea salt and paper. My wife and I have been playing this game pretty relentlessly, and we really are enjoying it quite a lot. Bruno Cathala and Theo, I'm going to script last names, Reverie, did a really good job on the design. It's really cute art, it's origami shapes. They're different, things you would find in the ocean. There's fish and sharks and swimmers and boats, all kinds of stuff. So, very, very cool game. I like it real well as a two-player. And so I started thinking about hidden gems. I'd been thinking about hidden gems for a while, admittedly. And I think I got stuck kind of on the idea of what it was, where it was going, and what it could be. So I've had to do some thinking about it. I have a deck of blank cards here. You can use index cards. You can use whatever you want. I just happen to have a deck of blank cards because I have a photo cutter that cuts cards into 3.5 by 2.5 card size shape. I have one. I've had it for years and years and years. In fact, when we started Gherkin Games, so it was 2008 maybe. I've had it since then, 9, somewhere in there. Anyway, so that's that thing. Union Brothers was the company that made it. I don't know if you can get those anymore. Talking 15 years later, it still works like a champ. It's been amazing. I've punched out so many cards. I actually punched out 54, 53, because I miscut, and this one should actually be one of these, but whatever. Anyhow, so what I was thinking with this game is you would have gems on the cards with a background, of course, some kind of background, and then be the different cuts. We're going to use 5 because I like the ease of 5 different things. The shapes are obviously quite different. Trillion, of course, is kind of a triangle. Marquise is kind of a cat's eye kind of shape. Round is round. Princess is square. Emerald is an emerald cut, right? So colors don't matter. I just used 5 dice. You could use whatever 5 dice you want. I just happen to have the luxury of 5 different color dice. Use dice that you guys can see, right? If you're colorblind and all that stuff, or your friends are colorblind, or your cat's colorblind and they want to play too. If it's your enemies that want to play and they're colorblind, it's up to you. Anyhow, so what I was thinking was the cards would be maybe cut into a third and do a quick doodle here. So I haven't gotten very far with this game other than I have an idea. I think the idea is cool. I don't know how far I'm going to go with the idea. I can't draw a straight line, y'all. Just so you guys know. So anyway, you would have 3 gems on each card. There's 53 cards in the deck, right? Because this is the 54th card. So if you have 53, it's 109. Pardon me. A long week. No, 159, right? 159 unique spaces divided by 5 is, I don't know. Math is hard, right? So this is like 31, right? So each gem is going to be used 31 times. And that leaves us with a remainder of 8. So the way I was thinking was you would have gems placed on the card. I think like, a decent sized gem so you can see it. It doesn't have to be huge. And then when you played the card, right, you would cover up. So if I play another card, right, I would cover up a gem however I play the card. I can't, say not playing the card completely over another card because that would be weird. But if I play it like that, I could increase the value of the round, or the princess cut, not the round. Increase the value of the princess cut by 1, right? Because now I've hidden a gem. Or if you play it like this, you could cover 2 gems, right? Like that. And so this one, of course, would have, different things on it. Try not to repeat too many things. This is something I'll have to, throw in Photoshop and all that kind of, or paint.net. I don't use Photoshop. Can't afford it, and I don't particularly like it. I don't particularly like Photoshop. I don't like their company. I don't like the way the company works. I don't like how they treat artists. Anyway, off my soapbox. Anyway, back to designing an interesting game. So you have 8 empty spots. I think you could also do something with maybe some powers, because I think that's a real boon with the sea salt and paper is when you play certain cards in pairs or certain cards by themselves, they give you a power. Usually it's paired cards give you a power. So I think, maybe some kind of a power like, something like that, like switch cards. Switch available card for a different card. I don't know. Still working through the process here. But the power would trigger maybe when you covered it. No, power would trigger when you played it. So let's write ourselves a note. Power triggers when played. Right, because you're playing against someone else or a couple of someone else's, and they're going to be playing cards, and you don't necessarily want to play a card that has a power on it. Here we're going to add another gem. I think I've done all 5. Yeah, okay. Put a square one over here. Yeah. Anyway, so kind of working through that idea. Maybe there's a power that's, take a card and put it under, under the pile. Things like that. I think there's a lot of things we could do power-wise that would be interesting in this game. And like I said, I'm still kind of working through the process here. Kind of placing our gems around the cards as well. I think it's something that definitely, once I throw it in Photoshop, it'll be, and so if I play this card, maybe I tuck it under something else. And so if I tuck it like this, now I've increased the value to trillion, right? And so trillion increases by 1. And so you start the game with with a card, and then you draw a card, and then you play a card, right? So you'll be able to play a card out of your hand, or you play the card you drew. Depending on the card you played, your points, you're going to have points at the end based on what gems are on your card, right? So you're kind of playing towards a certain goal. I think, triggering thing could be like when a gem gets to 6, right? Gets to value 6, that would trigger the end. So there's maybe like don't want to rush those up. Or if you see somebody, playing, he tucked a trillion, so I should tuck, I should avoid tucking trillions, right? Things like that. And then maybe if all of the gems, are, if 1 equals 6, if 1 gem, and if all gems equal 4, something like that. You certainly have some player agency as far as like what the cards do. Maybe you have like a value. You do like a +1, -1 to the dice. All right, this is our die. I kind of like the dice being like cube looking shapes, so they're easy to distinguish from the gem shapes, right? And I don't mean to draw all these. Oh, that one's in the middle. Anyway, so we'll kind of put, whatever. And I think, kind of an interesting background would be cool on these. Something kind of, I don't know, something deco would be cool, or maybe some Art Nouveau stuff would be pretty neat, like a wallpaper kind of looking background. Maybe switch up the background so it's, at least get some visual differences, a couple different colors. These would, I don't think these will be colored, but this will have a color on the back. These would be probably white with the lines. The gems actually have like specific cuts that they get. Put something like that. That's, make sure I draw my marquise a little more crisply. Draw my circle a little more crisply. So we can distinguish these easier. Anyway, thank you guys for checking out Roll and Write Evolution Presents. Let's make a board game. Yeah, so like this one, maybe you could play like this. Play on this one. Right? Or I could play it like, I'd play like this and cover 2. So I'd cover the round and I'd cover that one. I don't know. Cover the round one. Ooh, now we're at 3. And I've only played like 4 cards. Well, if all gems equal 4, maybe. So you have to play 3 cards to get there. But then if you have cards that do a power, like this could change, say, this number back to 1. That would be maybe a spoil sport kind of thing. I don't know. I think I have a lot of ideas about this game. I think I probably just need to sit down and make it. So I hope you guys have found this kind of peek into the creative process at least slightly interesting. So kind of work through an idea here. Definitely a 54 card game. So there's a face-up card, and then everybody gets a card. So if there's 4 players, that's 4 or 5 cards. You have this card. So that's 6 cards allocated. So you have 48 cards left in a 4-player game. Up to 12 cards per player at that point. See, I can do math once in a while. Not often, occasionally. Anyhow, I hope you guys have had fun checking out this kind of look inside my quirky design brain as I ponder through different avenues with design and thinking about, how this game works, what this game's about. Ooh, maybe you have a power that's like detective or something like that. You could look at, I don't know, maybe you could look at like the top card of the deck and then put it underneath or leave it. That might be kind of a cool power. Things like that. I think there's some avenues to kind of give some player interest, kind of bump up what they're interested in, what they're thinking, what they're doing. Certainly with 54 cards, there's quite a lot, especially with 2 players, but that's where you have, a very kind of specific end round or end game target number with the dice. I could use less cards probably. So anyway, hope you guys are having a great day. Hope you enjoyed checking out my idea for hidden gems. We'll see where it goes. I hope to report back to you next week as I've gotten a little further with it. Definitely feeling this detective clue idea. So we'll do maybe a magnifying glass, right? Magnifying glass with a handle. Give it a little bling there. Something like that. Certainly don't want to put, make sure that's a nice square. I don't want to put more than one power on the cards. Some cards maybe don't need a power. I don't really know how that's going to go yet. I mean, I did say there's 8 cards, whatever. But with that said, with 8 cards, I might actually throw extra gems. So maybe there's powers on some of the cards, extra gem on some of the cards. Things like that. I think we're up to, wow, 4 powers. That's pretty good. And then, I don't know if it would be you, so I'm going to detect, right? And then, I don't know. I'm working, obviously you guys probably see the steam on camera. I'm fogging up that lens. Anyway, thank you guys so much for checking out Hidden Gems. Thank you for checking out Let's Make a Board Game. Appreciate y'all liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing with your friends, sharing with your enemies, sharing with your people who have access to the YouTube. Certainly appreciate y'all doing that. Crash Test Zombies is live on Kickstarter if you want to go check that one out. I appreciate any and all support. It's, basically a one-person operation that runs Walmart Revolution with a little bit of help here and there. Guest designers here and there, the girls if they feel like chipping in. But mostly it's me. And so I appreciate y'all. Thank you guys so much for checking out Hidden Gems. Thank you for checking out Let's Make a Board Game. We'll see where this one goes. This might be a game you see in a couple of years. I'm not going to commit to next year because next year is packed solid full of amazing games. I can't wait to share this with you guys coming up. Maybe, who knows, if this thing's any good, maybe 2026. All right, thanks guys. Have a wonderful, amazing, awesome day.